Today we shall write a very simple transaction counter hook which keeps track of all the incoming and outgoing transaction count per account. Also, we will be using all the things we have discussed in earlier videos, so please watch the previous videos before this one, and please make sure to watch all the videos in the same order it has been posted. I'll put the link to the playlist in the description section of this YouTube video. So let's get started. This is a hook account with default namespace NS1. Let's assume ABC is another account, which sends 3 Xahau to our hook account. It's an incoming transaction for hook account. Let's put that information in state with account as key and amount as value. What if the hook account sends 5 Xahau to account ABC? It's an outgoing transaction. Let's put that in the state too, with destination account as key and amount as value. But now you can spot the problem. The keys are same, hence the previous value will be overwritten. To avoid that, let's create another namespace called NS2. It's like a table in SQL or collection in NoSQL. We put outgoing transaction data under NS2. By the way, we can put either the incoming or outgoing transaction in NS2, whichever namespace we prefer. There is another account called XYZ. It sends 3 Xahau. It's an incoming transaction. For outgoing transaction, the data is stored under namespace NS2. So NS2 will have all the outgoing transaction details, and the default namespace, which is NS1, will have all the incoming transaction details. Let's start with the helper macros, done and nope. Done to accept and nope to reject the transaction. Let's replace accept with done. Successful payment. Now, let's declare a 4-byte variable count. 1 byte is 8 bits. Multiply it by 4 and you get 4 bytes, and I'll initialize it to 0. Let's quickly fetch both the account and destination from the originating transaction. We should use OTXN field, and the field name for account is SF account. Same API for destination. Let's also get the hook account using the API hook_account. With these data at hand, let's check for incoming and outgoing transaction. If hook account is the sender of this transaction, then it's an outgoing transaction. Else, it's an incoming transaction. Please be very clear of this logic, as you will be using it in most of your hooks. Now all the logic is directly taken from the previous video tutorial. If you have not watched it, please watch it. Let's read the state. Note that account is a variable and not buffer, so let's use svar. Here we are recording the number of times we sent payment to an account. So destination account is key here. Destination is a buffer, so we will use sbuff. Now let's increment the value of count and store it back into the state using state_set API. Now we should repeat the same for incoming transaction. Here, since it's an incoming transaction to the hook, hook account must be in the destination field and the sender information is in account field. Here we are recording how many times we received payment from particular account. So repeat everything. Now, by this time, you might have already guessed that the state gets overwritten because of this code, but let's see that in action. Now, let's trace out the value of count in both the cases for outgoing and incoming transactions. Let's save, compile. Let's trigger on payment transaction. I'll call the namespace as counter. You can call it anything. Set hook. Let's first test for outgoing transaction. I'll make it 1 Xahau. Count is 1. Let's do it again. Now count is 2. Now let's check for incoming transaction. Count is 3. It should have been 1 as this is our first incoming transaction since we installed the hook. Clearly it's overwriting the state as the key is same. Let's store one of the states in a new namespace. It's like a new table or collection. You can call it anything. It must be SHA-256 hash. And by the way, namespaces are 32 bytes. I'll take a 32 byte buffer. I'll call it send_ns. Don't forget the semicolon at the end. Now let's change the API. It is state_foreign, foreign. This is to read the state. The value followed by the key followed by the namespace, which is a buffer. So sbuff send_ns followed by the hook account. The same account because this state lives on the same account. Now writing the state is also same. Paste it, change the API to state_foreign_set. Let's save and compile this. Let me delete the previous account. Hook account. Let's trigger on payment. Okay, everything is set. Set hook. So it's an incoming transaction. Count is 1. Now count is 2. Let's do it once again. Count is 3. Now let's change it to outgoing transaction. The count should start from 1. And it's working. Let's do it again. Count is 2. Let's flip it again. The count should be 4 now, the incoming transaction. Yep. 5. Let's flip it one last time. Let's make it an outgoing transaction. The count must be 3. And it's 3. You can cross-verify the states on Explorer. When you go to the Explorer, there will be 2 different namespaces. One is default and another one is the one which we created. One for the incoming and one for the outgoing transactions. Hope you like this video. We will use the same concept in our next video and it will be an interesting one. So please stay tuned, stay subscribed. Please like and share this video and thanks for watching.